Now, from the Bay Area's local news station, you're watching KRON4 News at 5.
Now at 5.
Kaveh, what is it like to be out free?
A man tried for the murder of Keith Green is now walking free. The San Mateo County District Attorney decides against retrying Tiffany Lee's ex-fiancé and says now no one will be held accountable for Keith Green's death. Thank you for joining us tonight at 5 o'clock, everybody. I'm Grant Lotus.
And I'm Vicki Liviakis. It's a dramatic end to a high-profile trial as all three people accused in the death of Keith Green will be walking free by mid-January.
Today, San Mateo County prosecutors announced they will not be trying Kaveh Bayat for a second time.
Following this story for us tonight is KRON4's Dan Kerman. He is live outside the San Mateo County Jail in Redwood City. Dan, what was the mood like when Bayat walked out?
Well, the mood was pretty great, at least for his mother. He was escorted out of the jail by his mother. His father had been inside as well, waiting by the car as they both came out. As you know, Bayat was actually accused by prosecutors of being the trigger man. Prosecutors deciding that despite they believing the fact that they were right to bring these charges and that Bayat was responsible along with Tiffany Lee, they do not believe they're going to be able to convince another jury of this. With his mother at his side, Kaveh Bayat walked out of the San Mateo County Jail a free man Thursday after prosecutors decided not to retry him for the murder of Keith Green, Tiffany Lee's ex-boyfriend.
It was a difficult decision. What we were looking for after a 6-6 hung jury is what would be different in a retrial. Why would we think that 6 people who didn't think we had enough evidence in a new trial, we would get all 12.
Prosecutors had accused Bayat of actually shooting and killing Green in April of 2016. But while Lee was acquitted of the murder, a jury deadlocked 6-6 over Bayat's guilt.
We talked to about half the jurors to find out what was going on back there, what were their concerns, what did they not, and they gave us what they weren't, and we just weren't going to be able to fill the holes that they felt were in the case.
San Mateo County District Attorney Steve Wagstaff says he continues to believe the evidence shows Lee and Bayat were accountable and responsible for Keith Green's murder, but he also believes the evidence just isn't enough to convince a jury.
We informed Keith Green's mother this week that we would not be retrying it. She is both disappointed and angry about that, and I completely understand that. There is nobody now who will be held accountable for the murder of her son, and that's a tragic thing for a family member.
So while no additional criminal charges will be coming against Bayat, Wagstaff points out that there is always the possibility, just like in the O.J. Simpson case, that the family of Keith Green can end up filing civil charges against one or both of these people involved. That will be up to the family. Live in Redwood City, Dan Kerman, KRON4 News.
Thank you, Dan. And our coverage of the Hillsborough heiress murders continues on KRON4.com. There you can hear from 2 jurors who found Tiffany Lee not guilty and why one of them believes Keith Green's family did not get justice.
And we are following breaking news right now as we're learning more about a bomb threat at San Francisco State University.
Yeah, this is happening as we speak. KRON4's Dan Thorne live there right now. Dan, what's going on?
Well, Vicki and Grant, several of those buildings remain closed here on campus because of that bomb threat. University police and San Francisco police right now are sweeping some of the buildings here and seeing what's going on and seeing whether or not this is actually a legitimate threat. We did see several students that were waiting outside of the building because they had to evacuate. University police were also seen with some bomb-sniffing dogs going around some of the buildings. They're not allowing people into the main campus area right now. I actually myself got kicked out of that area because they were like, look, we got to make sure that everything is cleared up here. Right now, we do know that the following buildings have been evacuated, including the Humanities Building, the Library, Thornton Hall, Burke Hall, the Business Building, Fine Arts, and several others, including the Gymnasium. The only residential building that is affected right now is Centennial Village, which is Building C, but all of the other residential buildings will continue to operate as normal. I actually spoke with one professor who actually had to move his class outside, and they were forced to do their finals and presentations on some outdoor furniture, and he's not quite convinced that this threat is legit.
Either someone's being intentionally spiteful to kind of just kind of throw a trolley wrench into people's end of the semester, or it's someone trying to like dodge taking an exam that in a course that they either hate to, again, like spite the professor, or they're not doing well in.
Well, investigators have actually been on campus since around 2 o'clock today, and they remain here about 3 hours later. I was talking with some students out here that actually had to leave some of the buildings, and they weren't even sure what was going on, and they were really surprised when they heard that it was a bomb threat. Again, it's unconfirmed reports. Police are still out here investigating and making sure that people avoid this main campus area. So when we learn the latest, we'll, of course, bring it to you.
All right, Dan, we'll be checking back with you a little later on. Meantime, in Benicia, take a look at the man in this video. He uses pepper spray on the clerk after he steals money from the register. And tonight, police are asking for the public's help identifying this man before he strikes again. KRON4's Hazik Medyoun gives us a look at the man in the video.
The video shows a robber holding a pistol in one hand, then pepper spraying the clerk with the other. Police say the robber was unprovoked, but he used the pepper spray anyway.
The victim, who is innocent and was complying with his demands.
It happened Sunday around 8 p.m. here at the Fast and Easy Mart gas station in Benicia. Police say the man in the video pretended to be a customer.
He pretended like he was going to purchase a couple of things. He asked the clerk for a pack of cigarettes, and when the clerk went to get the cigarette, he pointed a gun at the clerk and demanded cash from the register. So the clerk complied, and as soon as he had the money, he pepper sprayed a good dose amount of pepper spray at the clerk before leaving. We always tell people to be safe and never to be confrontational in a dangerous situation, especially if you know that the man was armed and the clerk was doing what he was supposed to do, and he was still sprayed.
Investigators say this is video of the robber leaving the gas station, driving away in a white Jeep Cherokee.
We are really hoping that by putting the video out there, someone would be able to give us some information about this suspect that would lead us to the arrest of this man.
In Benicia, Hazik Medyoun, KRON4 News.
In the South Bay tonight, a young San Jose girl is being called a hero for alerting her family of a fire in their home. You see the scene here. This is shortly before 7 o'clock this morning as firefighters battled the fire on North 19th Street. The home is a total loss, and virtually everything inside was destroyed. You see a lot of emotion there, but the family made it out safely thanks to the heroics of this 11-year-old Berlin Gomez Munoz. Berlin smelled smoke, quickly alerted her still sleeping sister and parents, and they were able to get out as that fire quickly engulfed the home. Firefighters say Berlin acted as a, quote, human smoke detector and almost certainly saved lives. That's according to the fire captain there. Berlin's family, again, lost everything, including their Christmas presents. The cause of the fire is not known. We will be hearing from Berlin about what happened coming up tonight on KRON4 News at 6.
All right, let's go ahead and take a live look outside right now from our Sutro cam pointed in the direction of the Golden Gate Bridge, slightly obfuscated there in the haze. What is that? Those aren't rain particles, are they?
Oh, a lot of drizzle today. Chief Meteorologist Lawrence Carno here now to clear things up.
Yeah, a lot of moisture still in the atmosphere. We've had that rain dry today. We're going to see a little dense ground fog developing around the Bay Area tonight. Look at the storm system making its way up in the Pacific Northwest right now. We are lucky to be missing this one so far. It is bringing a lot of rain up in towards Seattle and Portland, but high pressure to the south, and that's where we're sitting right now, keeping us mostly dry and giving us a much needed break. Doppler radar scanning your skies, and it is dry all around the Bay Area. No raindrops to be had today, and I think we stay dry for at least another day, and then that whole rain line is going to start to shift to the south again, and that means we are back into some rain big time over the weekend. Out toward the Golden Gate Bridge, mostly cloudy skies, but dry conditions continuing there. Watch out, though, for some patchy valley fog developing overnight tonight. Some of that is going to be very thick. Out the door right now, we've got some cool temperatures in Santa Rosa, some low 50s there, 58 in Concord, 56 in Livermore, 57 in San Francisco, 59 degrees in Oakland, and 57 degrees in San Jose. We are going to see a nice evening out there, but bundle up. Going to be a little cool out there. Watch out, some patchy dense fog developing, especially in through the Delta, parts of the North and the East Bay late tonight and early tomorrow morning, guys. Back to you.
All right, Lawrence, today lawmakers in Washington held a hearing to discuss better ways to handle wildfires and prevent them from getting out of hand. As Joe Khalil reports, senators wanted to make sure public utilities responsible for starting fires are held accountable.
The fight to stop the next major California wildfire shifted to Washington Thursday. And senators on the Energy and Natural Resources Committee say the situation is urgent.
Loss of life and property that has just been just horrific.
The committee held a hearing to explore new ways to prevent fires. Bill Johnson, CEO of PG&E, California's largest utility, was the key witness.
In the last 2 years, PG&E equipment's been found responsible for both California's costliest and deadliest wildfires on record.
But we have a lot of work to do if we're going to make this system safe enough to deal with the current climate reality.
The committee discussed technology that would alert utilities when their equipment's at risk of sparking a fire before it happens. Senator Catherine Cortez Masto says that's promising.
But I think the technology is going to take us in a safer direction, and I'm looking forward to exploring that.
The committee challenged Johnson on public safety power shutoffs, PG&E's controversial mechanism for shutting power to entire communities ahead of risky fire conditions.
How long do you anticipate that PG&E will have to resort to additional PSPS events?
It will take us probably 5 years to get to the point where we can largely eliminate this tool.
Johnson says the challenge ahead is to develop safer energy methods that don't add costs to their ratepayers, some of whom lost homes or family members to fires. In Washington, I'm Joe Khalil.
Coming up, California won't be seeing a high-speed rail anytime soon. We'll show you why the project is delayed yet again.
And the House has impeached President Trump, but it is unclear when the Senate will take up the case. We'll take a closer look at why things could be deadlocked in Washington.
And California's new earthquake early warning application issues is its first public alert. What one of the app developers has to say about its effectiveness.
And if you want to skip the commercials, get more news during the break, make sure you're streaming us on KRON4. Download the KRON4 app to start watching now.